Just kidding, we're gonna look at my house today, but I thought we'd start with my car. You can learn a lot from old guys. They have good taste, so I fell in love with the car. Pat Riley drives one. He used to drive them all the time, and so does David Letterman and Johnny Depp. They were trying to avoid getting tickets. I just think they're cool, and it reminds me of the Blues Brothers, my favorite movie.
It's always the same, the game never changes. As soon as you start to focus, it rearranges. It makes us wonder what the meaning of the rain is. How can I be blessed when I'm so depressed? Just tell me the truth. I learned my lesson. Suffered through the past, I've earned my...
There's always music in the garden. Nice and cheesy rock.
Life's about challenge. Tap into the source. Open your eyes. Man, you gotta stop and watch the sunrise. When you realize the law
Another
that dies, easy as 1, 2. What rules over you?
Lived with my cat.
What rules over you?
She likes to be held like this. Real character. LID-BEH. This painting here is one of my favorites. It was done by Aaron Penland, an artist based out of Portland, Oregon. But he actually went to school here at UNT and lived in Denton for a while. And I was walking in the campus center, and I saw this one day, and I just stared at it for like an hour, trying to figure out what he was thinking. I fell in love with the painting. And I kept walking past it every day going to class. And I finally went down to the art center and I asked the director down there who did it. She told me this guy Aaron Penland, and gave me his number, and I contacted him, and he actually ended up doing the first cover for my CD and every album after that. At the time I gave him $900 for this, which was a lot of money to me at the time, but I'm glad I did. It's nice having original artwork. This used to be the garage, and me and my friend Mark Holderbaum were sitting in here one day, and Mark goes, you know, you should cut out the floor and make this into a music room. I would get a lot more use out of it. And I like to have a room too where it kind of breeds creativity. So I'm real lucky. I got a lot of really cool people and friends that come over here and study guitar with me, and bass and piano. That's the drums so we can rehearse here. I dated a Japanese girl in college who brought me this poster of Randy Rhoads from Japan. I always found him to be very inspiring as a guitar player. My first girlfriend in college painted me this picture of Bach. He's my favorite composer. There's Beethoven, my other favorite composer. Instead of a velvet Elvis, I gave my velvet Elvis to my sister, who's a big Elvis fan. I have a velvet Jimmy. And a good old classic poster of Yngwie with his Ferrari to remind me to keep practicing. In honor of Yngwie, let's play some Bach. This is fun. This is my original copy of Chord Chemistry by Ted Green. Look how much I wore it out. He was like my first guitar teacher. I mean, everything in this book I just tried to absorb as much as I could. And every time you open it, it seems like you learn something new. And since he's come out with 2, he passed on a couple of years ago. I was really sad to hear that, but that's my other updated copy I bought. And now I got this one because it's got a different cover. I've had these books for 20 years. It's hilarious. This is my favorite amp. It was built by Gerald Weber in Pflugerville, Texas, which he has the Kendrick Amp Company. I think it's named after his wife. But it's a funny story. I was playing at the guitar show at Charlie's Guitar Shop, and I fell in love with this amp, and I drove all the way down to Pflugerville one time on the way to a gig in Austin, and I toured the place where he makes the amps, and he talked me into building me one. And he built me an amp, but it just didn't sound like this one. It had a little bit more of a blues vibe, so Mark Pollock at the time owned Charlie's Guitars. He was willing to swap me out, and he swapped me for this one, and it just sounds like a perfect twin. Really great sounding amp. This is my main guitar that I'm playing right now. It's my Strat. Fell in love with this thing too. I got it for half off because some guy ordered this from a Fender custom shop, and they put it in the case while the paint was still wet, and this purple got it, if you can barely see it, got on there. So it was half off, and I could afford that in college, so I've had it ever since. Love it. don't care about the paint, I'm just a player.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste.
It's funny, the Celtics and Lakers are in the finals again right now, and I grew up watching them, and that's my favorite photo. That's Magic Johnson at Larry Bird's retirement party. He surprised him with a Boston Celtics jersey. That's one of my favorite guitar players, Al Di Meola. He's from Tenafly, New Jersey, an amazing player. My friend Chris Carrington introduced me to him. There's Yngwie. That's after a show in Dallas. That's Alan Holdsworth. That's here in my home. And that's Clint Strong, an amazing jazz bebop guitar player, and a good friend of mine. This is a picture of Marilyn Monroe if you really look at it closely. See, the yellow fish make her hair, and then the red lips kind of make her mouth, and there's the mole. If you look back from a distance, you can see it. It might be kind of hard. That's Tony Robbins. That's a real good friend of mine, Ray Foreman, a great attorney based out of Grapevine. This is Racehorse Haynes. He's a good guy, great guy, amazing attorney. He helped me out with the case I had here. This is Chet Atkins, best guitar players ever. It's my good friend Kay Nagano. He's a chef that used to cook at my birthday party every year, and he's moved here to Denton and opened up a little restaurant. We brought him here called Keiichi, and if you haven't been there, it's amazing. That's last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, a long time ago. Jay Leno was here. And this is Alan Holdsworth after a gig they had here at the Silverleaf. That's Jimmy Johnson, great bass player, and Chad Wackerman. Played with a lot of really great people, including Frank Zappa. And that's my old band, Riddle Me This. My old partner Paul Schmau's here, great songwriter. And Dave Berkshire, a good drummer, lives in Chicago. This is my bar. It's kind of bare. I've been too busy to be doing too much partying, but you can always tell a real bar if it has a bottle of Galliano, Italian liqueur used to make Harvey Wallbangers. If you ever want to stump a bartender, order a Harvey Wallbanger. If he knows what he is, he's a damn good bartender. This is another funny thing about my cat that she really enjoys. I'm serious, she actually likes this. You can spin her around. There she goes. This is my room. Got a picture of Red Fox. My good friend Mike Powell gave me. This is one of my favorite paintings, The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. I always wondered what this painting meant. I think that might be like heaven, the earth, and hell. But if you watch that movie, What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams, they have this painting up above the bed. I always love that painting. This is a beautiful photograph by Herb Ritz. He's passed on now too, but he was a famous New York photographer. And he shot this. And I was in New York City when I got this, and I always thought, what a beautiful photo. My girlfriend at the time got it for me, and she really liked it too. Great, great photo. Laundry room with a wine rack here. Dumb idea because the dryer puts heat. That, you know, it was a cute idea at the time. That's where I keep all my CDs. This is the first tape cover that Aaron Pinlan, the guy that painted the painting I was telling you about earlier, did for me. First one. This is my office. Spent a lot of time in here doing business and stuff. Kind of wanted a Scarface type vibe to remind me to take care of business, you know. It's my gun safe. In Texas we have a lot of guns, but I also keep my master tapes and stuff in here. This is my old band, Riddle Me This. It's our first CD we came out with in 1995. You can tell that photo's kind of worn out. This is another photo we took with James Bland, the photographer. This is my favorite photo because I thought it was clever. We did this at a laundromat down in Dallas. It's like we're waiting for Dave. And this woman was perfectly placed back there. She just happened to be there. It was strange. That was in '98 when we came out with Trademark, and then this is 2000 when we came out with Eden. And one of my students actually owns this plane, and he chased us out in Sanger. And we were kind of recreating the famous North by Northwest, the Cary Grant movie, when we did that. This is a really cool Mayan relic of what they used to do sacrifices with. Everybody always thinks it's a bong. You see how people think, but it's not. It's just a nice relic. This is me when I was a kid. Try to remind me to keep my sense of humor too. They say when you look at in your eyes when you're a kid, you can tell your destiny. Who knows? That's my mom and dad. My sister getting married. It's another picture of Red Fox I cherish with Lamont. Lamont Wilson's. And this is one of my favorite pictures too. This is in India. This is a holy man. When he was born, they told him that he was a holy man, so he was never to cut his hair his whole life. So you can see all the dreads here. What's amazing, when he gets up and he's done talking, he folds all his hair up on top of his head and puts it in this turban like cloth, and you'd never know he has all that hair. It's really, I just fell in love with that photo when I saw it. As you can see, Led Bozai and a squirrel out here. We'll go outside now. This is the backyard. It's a little bit of a mess because spring has just started. I need to go here and clean it up. But a hot tub here. Still working a little bit. And this is a goldfish pond. We like to entertain a lot and have dinner parties and stuff, so do that here. This is my koi pond. We've had some controversy here. There's been a big heron bird that's very clever and he's come and eaten all my fish, so they kind of hide now. I put a tube in there for them, but if you see, they're hiding in here. See them? There they come. They're a little traumatized with this big bird coming. But what can you do? It's just nature, you know? That's a little hut. Keep the lawnmower in. Just painted it pink so it looked like Jamaica or something. And this is the stage where we have home concerts. I've had some really cool home concerts. We've had Edgar Cruz here, Fred Hamilton, he's a jazz guitar faculty guy up at UNT, great player. He did a nice concert here. I've played out here, Clint Strong. Like I said, Edgar Cruz, classical guitar player, did a really great job here. And this is my Japanese maple. Cherish. Kind of got a Japanese theme going back here. If you look right here, there's a bird's nest with baby birds in it. Their mom's off gathering them some food, but they've been nested up in there for a few days, so letting them do their thing. Here's my kettlebell. Need to use this thing more often. There's a quick tour of my house. So welcome back in.